and welcome to DJ 101 with Squeak Pivot. So Squeak Pivot of the John Walt Foundation and DJ Cash Era today are going to lead us to the knowledge, tools, and opportunity to mix and mash records and tell y'all what it takes to become a DJ. So on behalf of the Chicago Public Library Teen Services, we want to welcome them and throw it over to Squeak.
Pivot gang.
And I know good for me. You look so good to me. I don't need another broken heart or see tonight. God, please got me right. She looks like a girl of my dreams. Yeah. She looks like a girl of mine. She looks like a girl of mine. She looks like a girl of my dreams. Yeah. She looks like a girl of mine. She looks like a girl of mine. Yeah. Angel, if I'm painted, I just don't thought I was a secret. She was right. Don't know if I seen her in my dreams for my nightmares. It was not nightmares. And I think I need your love. I don't need no one else. Wonder if I get it from my heart. She never get it. You know she's a angel. If you never met, baby, I didn't know. Got kick, got kick, got kick, got kick. I'm ready to take it in the hands, I can take it right. I come from struggle, tell me I'm a struggle. Put my dress and cut and get the doors, bloody down, just be better. Need you, need you. So I'm working, I don't see it. It's my thing, I need made, my vehicle. I get a feel, I get a pay, that's what you get to do. Right about my flexibility, I feel like a dirty touch. I cannot get it off, so my criminal let it super get the crackers on my niggas. Tell me if they up turn. I'm sorry. Legacy got all my melodies, mixing soul top recipes. We was with a cold hot, that's the grease. Niggas cross face, check the crease. Cripple Chris kept his knees, would submit, no retreat. Defeat dragons for a feast, that's a feat you would never meet. Tried to greet you was fell asleep. Wish you break away from me, breaking free. At this point, seem like the only thing that I need. Once they bring me jacked up like that old head. And my girl like a super saiyan with gold hair. Be like guys will be 7 times in a row fast. Keep me up on the late night like old fast. I don't want to waste time. Keep me in my eyes and I see you on FaceTime. Know you feel the same cause we both got a green on. Keep me up on the late night. Wake up like it every day to day. Get the check and look back and write the game on. Hey, I just did this shit like a radio. So I had to let that protection. They could get it the subject like a radio.
Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. Hello. First off, can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me? Did y'all hear that? Did y'all enjoy that? That slight segment. So as they first introduced, my name is Squeak Pivot. I behalf of the John Walt Foundation and Pivot Gang. I hail from the West Side, from Chicago, and I'm a DJ producer, as you guys can see. I'm gonna just start on how I got into DJing. Um, I got into DJing, so it was pretty easy for me, honestly. It was just like my friends needed a DJ. As you know, as some of you know, I'm in a collective called Pivot, and it's enough of us, and so a lot of rappers, and I came around. I knew I wasn't trying to be a rapper or anything like that, but long story short, my homies needed a DJ. I was like, hey, you know what? I could do this, and then I bought me a controller. I bought me a little startup controller. And it's actually what I'm using now. This is a DDJ SB2. It's a great startup controller. Um, and then I just taught myself how to DJ. I was just like, at first I was just performing, just a performance DJ. John Walt, that was the first artist I ever DJ for. He was the first artist to ever ask me to be his DJ and to DJ for him. So thank you, bro. That was amazing. Wouldn't be here for you. So I started as a performance DJ, and then the more I just got into it, before the artist performs a set, they'll be like, hey, go, play a couple songs from, just to hype the crowd up. So I'll hype the crowd up before, and then probably after, and then I was like, okay, started getting more comfortable, and then that's how I started doing my own DJ sets as far as making just my Squeak Pivot brand, DJing, getting that out here. But yeah, that was about 2016. Yeah, end of 2015. That's when I got into DJing. Because I got into production first, and then almost a year later, I got into DJing. I started taking it serious probably when I first started. When I looked up and noticed I was paying my bills from it, because that's yeah, DJing is really where and how I started making money in this industry. So I looked up and I was just paying bills with my DJ money. I was like, I guess I'm a DJ now. I can add this to the resume. I guess when I started taking it serious, and then my mom, she bought me a set of DJ speakers. So it was like, somebody could book me. I have my own equipment, that's just another source of income. And I still have those speakers. So thank you so much, Mom. Investing in a young entrepreneur. So I guess, yeah, that's when I started taking it serious. I just looked up, I was paying my bills off it. Whenever my homies do a show, they'll break bread with me, so that was tight. Going through my first DJ experience, these couple questions that I'm just, I wrote for myself and for the feature as well. My first DJ experience it was interesting. I was nervous. Of course I was nervous. It was, where was it? It was on right there on North Avenue in Ashland at, I forget what's North Bar or something like that. Whatever. I don't want to give him a shout out, but I was with Walt. We had a show, and who was there? It wasn't that many people there. I know. Who was there? Who was there? No Name was there. Sab was there. Was Joe there? It was a couple. It wasn't that many people though, and it was like one other DJ, and yeah, I had a set, and Walt had a set, and it was tight. I had put my songs together. I only messed up probably one time. Like I messed up one transition. Yeah, that was about the only thing I feel like I messed up on. Is it sharing? Share the screen. Yeah, there we go. I thought it was sharing. Yeah, so it was interesting. I got paid. I was nervous. I only messed up one time, like one transition during my set. Walt set was flawless. And then yeah, that first set, it was tight. I noticed I was comfortable once once I wasn't like, oh, because I forget stuff a lot. That's like my thing, I like to forget stuff. I don't like to, it just happens a lot. But I would forget my headphones. When you're DJing, you need your headphones, you listen, because you're basically just queuing up the next song. Queuing up pretty much is preparing the next song. So I'll forget my headphones. And I'm like, man. So I would just remember cues, or like if it was a newer song, I didn't have a cue or anything, because a cue is, you see where it's starting from, just different parts of the song. Here's a new cue. It's, wherever in the song. So I would just, certain songs, after playing them so many times, you would just remember the cue. Or if you're looking here, those colors mean like what instrument it is in the song, in the track. So it's like, I'll just look at certain tracks and I'll be like, oh, okay, that's the snare, that's the hi-hat, that's the kick. So that's where it's gonna start. That's where I need to match up, because that's pretty much what you're doing. Excuse me. When you're DJing, you're making sure that the songs match up. So if you look closely, like the snare, look at the color. It's like a light color. So I'll be like, oh man, so I know that's the snare. So let me line it up with the newer song that I can't hear, but I know if I line it up, it'll sound right once I bring the song out, the volume of the song out. And I'm like, okay, I'm getting pretty good at this, because, I could do a whole set without headphones, or I could freestyle a whole set. Pretty much, I could just go into a set, I could peep the vibe. I'm like, all right, this is the type of genre of songs I need to play, and just, without having to go in with a preset list or anything like that, and I'll just go in and kill it. So it's like, okay, all right, you're getting pretty good at this, kid. So my favorite genres, since I just spoke on that, probably that I like to DJ like R&B. I love mixing. All right, so look, my mixing style, I like to mix just songs that you won't even think that could like go together. Like I'll probably mix like a reggae song with a crazy trapped out hip hop song, and you'd be like, wow, that just happened. Like I like to surprise myself like that. The software that I'm using that I'm currently in, this is Serato. It's pretty known in the DJ community. It's all type of softwares. You can DJ from Ableton. I know the Mac usually sometimes have like a DJ Pro setup or something like that. It's literally all type of programs. It's just what you're used to, what makes you comfortable. I learned DJing like watching YouTube videos. YouTube University. Shout out. Um, but I'm also a visual learner. I'm a strong visual learner. I know that about myself. So I watched a lot of Damn. I watched a lot of Andy Lyrics. Those are some of my favorite DJs. I literally just watched them and then just added my own sauce to it. Damn taught me a lot. Definitely one of my biggest inspirations in this. DJ, I mean, just yeah, but let me show y'all. All right, so I was explaining to y'all about the colors of the tracks. Like that's once get more comfortable with this stuff. You be like, yes, uh-huh. Need this stuff. It's kind of sharp. How about doing a workshop right now, baby? All right. So, but before I start getting to these tracks, let me just tell y'all my setup really quick. The setup that I'm using, I said this is one of my first controllers. It's vintage. I like to call it my vintage controller. So I started. It's a DDJ SB2. This is a controller. You have CDJs. Those are digital, basically like vinyls. Then you have the vinyls. Um, then you have smaller controllers than this. Then you can also, this program that I'm using, Serato, they have a feature that's called practice mode where you could just literally practice straight from the keyboard. It's really helpful. It's definitely came in handy for me a couple times. But okay, let me give you a quick little demo on a thing. I probably shouldn't play that song. I probably shouldn't be playing that song. Okay, I'll play this and I'll play this. Feel free to ask any questions. Yeah, I got Cash, DJ Casher coming on in a bit. All right, so first thing I just did, if you just look at my screen, first thing I did was set a cue. I have these. Y'all really can't see it from the camera. Trying to get y'all this little insight, baby. Y'all can see that? That's good. That look good. Hold on, let me check the YouTube live and make sure y'all can hear me and stuff like that. Make sure. Hold on, 2 seconds, y'all. 2 seconds. I gotta make sure y'all saying y'all tapped in with me. I gotta make sure y'all tapped in. Y'all probably asking questions. Y'all ain't asking no questions, bro. What the questions at? Y'all can hear me? Where when you have the screen share, they can't see you. Oh, okay. Oh man, y'all can't see me right now. Dang. Hold on. Let me take this out real quick. FaceTime. Wait, is it showing? Can y'all see me again? Whatever. Okay, okay, cool, cool, cool. All right. So back to the demonstration. All right, so I'm just showing y'all my board. I'm about to screenplay again, but so this is pretty much how I'm starting track. So I'll bring to the track. These are the cues. These are my cue buttons up here. These four. You know, this first cue, the second cue, third, fourth. You can pretty much put these anywhere in a song. Like if wherever you want the song to start, you get used to the song. So I don't have as much time to explain to get really into cues and about just how tight they are, but just know a song that you want, wherever you want it to start it, is in your control with the cues. All right, so the cues, this is my play and pause button right there. The cue always starts you from the beginning of the song. Once you press it, when you press and hold it, it'll just start. If you let it go, it'll stop. But if you press and hold and you press play, it'll continue. Always remember that. That's I used to mess up on that all the time, bro. In my earlier DJ days, like I'll press the cue button, and then I'll forget that I didn't press play, and then I'll let it go, and then the music is just stop, and then I'm like, then you just kind of messed up the transition. But you what's learning without mistakes, This is your crossfader. This is how you go from one side, one song, and then you have your other song on this side. So you go in betweens, and this is pretty much how you do the scratching. That's a whole nother session. Yeah, it's it might get, very intimidating the first time looking at, a board like this, even though this is a amateur board, but definitely my first time, I'm like, what the heck is going on? But you just take your time with it, just take you like an hour out the day just to, mix, play around with it, see what buttons do what. This is your volume right here. This is also volume. These are the most efficient values. High pass filter, low pass filter. These controllers come with these built in, just cool knobs. These knobs up here are your effects, like one of my favorite effects is the echo. So just from a turn twist of a knob. And that's the thing with DJing. It was an easy transition for me because I was a producer, and it's like DJing is literally like producing. It's just live producing, just other people's songs. Yeah, I gave y'all a quick rundown. Oh wait, hold on. Most importantly, here your tempos, your tempo faders right here. This is pretty much how you get a songs to match each other. Tempos are how fast they're going. A song is going. So, I'll share the screen with you all. I'll share the screen with you again, but I have, for productions reasons, I have a app where it's a tap tempo, so I could just find the tempo to a song. So I'll just hurry up and find the song. I'll play this song. That's how fast the song is. All right. Let me play a couple more songs for y'all. Let me just show y'all like a live mix once again. I started it off with a mix just to show you all just what it looks like, from my perspective. Share screen. Again. All right. Okay. notes. I just messed something up. Just messed something up. All right. And how I move this, I'm just moving it with those discs that you guys saw me my hands on. All right. So the track on the left, that's going to be the first we're going to play. So first thing you notice, you see 120 in the circle. That's the tempo. That is the tempo of the song. So I'm about to change the tempo just so like y'all can see that's how it's going. That's how you match it up. Songs you just move that little knob and it just. All right. So say this song is 120. Actually, I'll do this song. I like this song. All right, so this song is 120 and this song is 134. How I usually do it, I usually try to find like the common, just the median number. Yeah, y'all remember the math class? So I just try to find like the number that's in the middle of that. So that's 34, that's 20, that's what, like 27, that's like 14 plus 14. So I'll do like 127. I'll add them up 127. So I'll be playing this song, right? Boom, you playing the song. Playing the song. And then you see your song that you want to do, you start moving, you start slowly moving up your tempo so it's not as noticeable to the crowd and to the audience. You know, like DJs and musicians, they'll peep it. They'll peep it because, you know, they just have that ear. But if you notice, the song is getting faster. They do this a lot on the radio stations. So when you be thinking like, dang, this song ain't usually this fast or this slow, you probably right. They change the tempo. All right, so I slowly move those in. And you pretty much, you count in your head, you're trying to catch the beat. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So I'm just hitting the cue on the right side of the screen on the Lil Nas X song to start it over every time I want to. Just to make it sound cool. I like making new songs while I'm DJing. I like to say that's a pretty flawless transition right there. But literally, that's all I'm doing is I just count in my head. Like that is my that is literally what I do while I'm DJing. I'm literally always counting in my head because I'm always either trying to catch the kick, the boom, or the snare. The snare is usually always on 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 2 and 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And yeah, because I didn't grow up in a musical home or anything like that. So it was like a lot of this stuff, like I came into it not knowing anything at all. So trust me, like, you want to do it, you can and you will. Also, let me show you one thing as well with these jogs. These pretty much. So what you see me doing, I'm pushing it, I'm like trimming it on the side. So you do the end stuff right on the surface. So if I do it on the side, that pretty much it lets me move like literally like probably like 0.2 seconds whether I'm going up or down, and that's how you catch songs. That's how you catch songs. Like if you're trying to catch the snare on one song and the other one isn't matching up, you're trying to catch it without starting the whole song over or without making it too noticeable. You'll catch it. You'll catch it with your jogs. You pretty much just match them up. Let me show my screen again, so you can see exactly. You can see exactly what you're going to be trying to match. So, okay. So, y'all hear the ram, the snare, like that. So it's like the green thing right there. Green, that. So pretty much, I'm trying another song that's pretty close in tempo. So I don't have to like do anything too crazy. All right, so what I'm gonna do, I'm about to make one of these songs go off beat on purpose, and I'm gonna catch it. I'm gonna catch it with the jogs. So y'all see how that's moving like really, really slow because I'm moving the jogs. I'm like just trimming them to the side instead on the surface. Just so. Okay. All right. The snares is obvious in like our song, but the other song, it's just got hella. You see how big that wave is? It's like it's hella sounds in that one song. So I'm gonna just go to one where you can actually see like the god dang on snare. clap thingies. I got a couple more minutes, and now I'm gonna pass it over to DJ Cash. Where is that dang song? Okay, here we go. Here we go. Some I know that's all right. I know this is in the 80 tempos. Okay, so yeah. All right, so I'm gonna catch it. Yeah. Yeah, that's how you catch the song. And a big thank you to somebody I want to just thank for really helping me understand, because he showed me that is what made me understand this just DJing more, when it was like just catching the instruments, because that was the main thing. Was just, man, I'm trying to make sure I catch it on time. It was DJ Dez underscore. Like, he's from the west side of Chicago. He don't really get talked about a lot, but like the people who know about him, they know how elite he is. Definitely wanna just give him a big thank you. I definitely always have him for my shows and stuff like that, and just give him shout outs whenever I can, because that's how you get raw. You just, you gotta reach out. You gotta have people that's in that field that wanna just see you shine. Let me see if I can answer one more question like that I have in my notes before we pass this on. One of the questions I had was, did I have any DJ mentors or looked up to any DJs or favorite DJs? I kind of just answered that. DJ Dez, Damn, Ambi Lyrics, DJ Cash Era. There's some more y'all out there. There's some lot of y'all. Shout out. Shout out the community. Yeah, literally, like, if y'all want to ask me any questions after this, like pertaining to DJing, anything, if y'all even want to have a little session or something, let me know. Like, I will be down. I don't, we're in quarantine. Pick up y'all a new hobby. It's literally gonna take y'all a month to understand it. Not if that, because it really didn't take me that far. It didn't take me that long. Cause you just press and play, and you matching the songs and the tempos. You just making sure they're on beat with each other. Literally, it's like, if you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. When you clap your hands with the class, them your songs right there. Make sure everybody on point. Yeah, don't let the buttons scare you or anything. All the colors scare you. That's just for aesthetic purposes only. That's all that is. And then once you just start going crazy in the DJing, you're gonna start doing some amazing stuff. You're gonna start DJing with four DJ decks. Y'all see this? Yeah. This is what they be on. This is what the EDM DJs be on. They be having 4 decks be going crazy. Yeah. Them DJs, them festival DJs don't be messing around. And yeah, I got a feature for y'all. I want to pass it to whoever passing it to Cash, DJ Cash. I hope y'all learned something. If y'all have any questions or like just confused about anything, like, I'm sorry, I'm not a teacher, but I would love to share my knowledge with anybody who wants to know. If you have any questions, literally hit me up. Squeak Pivot. That's on everything. SQUEAK. Pivot. Long live my boy Walter. Yeah, I'll just play a couple more songs. I'll probably cut off. I'm like, I like this song right here. Let's just, and the DJ tags, look, I didn't, gotta press the buttons up here. See this button up here? These your tags. This is where you pretty much just put your sound. These are like my
Pivot gang.
you know, that's my tag. You know, that's my producer DJ tag. And then you have sound effects. These are your effects. Change them out, swap them out. You know, you literally just start pressing buttons once you get in here. That's literally what you have to do. Just start pressing buttons once you get inside of here. And as far as like to download songs, I'll show y'all real quick, just real quick. How to download songs, how I illegally download songs. I mean, look, I'm not even gonna show y'all that way. Look, title, look, it's right here. It's right here inside of Serato. If you get it, you know they let you stream from there. But look, you go to a song you like. Boom. What song do? What's hot in the streets right now? Whatever. All right. Yeah. Hit me up. Yeah. To cash we go, y'all. Right. As promised, a feature for you guys and gals.
What up? What's
The homie
poppin'?
DJ Cash Era, everybody.
Ooh, DJ Cash era.
What up? I come ready. I'm used to this Zoom thing. Like I am true to this Zoom thing. Let me tell you, I'll be too ready.
All right, so I'm gonna ask you a couple questions, you know what I'm saying? And,
Let's do it.
And I'm gonna just let you, do your thing. This is a big thing. So how did you get into DJing?
I got into DJing back in 2013. I went to Columbia, and my freshman year, I took a course called the Club DJ One. It's like when you was talking about the different forms that you can DJ on, like turntables with vinyl and CDJs and all that. I learned all that first. So I started off learning vinyls with turntables,
As you should.
CDJs, and then I started using controllers and whatnot. So yeah, I got my start literally by taking a class, and then spring 2014, I started DJing with Young Chicago Walters for Louder Than a Bomb.
And then he just took off like a rocket. Huh?
I don't know why I took off like a rocket. I mean,
All I'm saying is you be doing your thing and respect to you.
I appreciate you. Thank you.
When you say you started taking it serious?
Honestly, I didn't start taking it seriously until maybe like 2 years ago. Like that whole time, so like 2013 up until like 2016, maybe even part of 2017, I looked at it as a hobby because I was still in college studying radio and television. So my sight was always on like working in radio. I really wanted to be on air talking, and I was DJing my entire college career, but I never looked at it as a primary job, even though that was my number one source of income and still is to this day. I just saw it as like a dope side hustle. Like I get to play music, like I'm vibing, I'm playing music, like I'm still interning and whatnot. So yeah, it was like literally maybe right before I graduated in 2017 is when I started looking at it very seriously. Like, all right, this is my number one job. Like this is my full time job and has been. So let me really put more energy into it, I guess you could say. But even before that, like I was already taking steps to let it be my full time job with like buying speakers, getting business cards, getting a logo made, even like sound job. Like I did all of that within the first year or two. So I had all those things going, but I just looked at it as if I'm gonna have a side hustle that brings in money, I might as well put money back into it. But yeah, I didn't really take it seriously as a full time job until like right before graduation.
Gotta, everybody got a different different story. You just gotta love it. You know, gotta love
Yeah, real different. I'm glad I got to hear your story. I was sitting here just being amazed, like, wow, this man
it.
cold.
Ah!
This man cold.
So, what was your first DJ experience? Like your first set? Like,
My first set.
hey, like, you know what I'm saying?
I got you.
DJ set.
My very, very first set was with L Tab, and the way that worked was they had me shadow the official DJ at the time was Itch 13, so they had me shadow him for like 2 hours, and he literally just showed me what he did before the bout started, which a bout is just a poetry competition, and he would mix during that time, right? Then he would play after each poem for the full 2 hours, and then when it was over, it was back to him DJing. I literally watched him do one bout, and then he just stood up and was like, "All right, you got it. Bye, I'm out." And I was just sitting on stage by myself, like, "Hey, yo, wait a minute. There ain't nothing else you want to tell me?" And my first set was decent. Like, I was still nervous. My transitions were okay. Like, I was able to catch the beat and whatnot. Um, but yeah, I just remember everyone in the room, especially YCA staff, looking at me like, "Who is this new kid?" Because she's actually like decent with music. So that was a good. That was a dope first experience. First like just straight up set experience where it was like a club or like a venue setting. Man, I really don't. Actually, yeah, I do. I think the first thing ever was a graduation party, and the girl saw me because of L Tab, and it was cool. Like it was super lax, it was laid back, but I was nervous. Nerves were definitely there. But I mean, everybody there loved it, and then it just trickled back to Columbia, and I started getting booked on campus. So the same nerves that I felt then, I still feel now before any big set that I have. And I think that adds a lot into why I have the love that I have for DJing.
All right. And what year was that? Like the first when
The
somebody
first
that was 2018?
that was 2014 still.
Okay.
All that was in 2014 because I didn't turn 21 until Jesus. Oh man, I turned 21 a couple years after that. But yeah, like my first club set, I really don't remember my first club set.
All right. So let's get into your setup. Like what setup, are you currently using? What would you say is hot on the streets right now?
I got you. So I am a avid Serato user. So I use the exact same software that Squeak uses. I don't like other softwares. I don't know why. I've tried to use them. I'm Serato all day long. Right now I'm using the DDJ 1000 SRT. I would pick it up to show you, but it's really, really big and heavy. This thing is massive. Because it's a 4-channel mixer. This thing is huge. And this is the newest and hottest controller that Serato and Pioneer has out right now. This is
Oh
my
yeah.
baby.
Woo.
Yeah. This is my baby. So I have 3 controllers in total. I have this, I have the DDJ SR1 and the DDJ SB3. So the newer version of the one that you have. And out of all the 3, I would say the 1000 SRT or the DDJ SR1 are my top 2 favorites. I also like CDJs a lot. I prefer CDJs over turntables. I do own a set of turntables and a mixer that I practice my scratching techniques with and whatnot. But yeah, I would say the 1000 SRT is just a beast because of everything that it has capabilities to do just on the board itself.
All right. I'm gonna ask you one more question.
What
and
up?
Then, you could show them like a slight mix and just give them an insight on what's DJing like from your perspective, from Cash.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the last question I was gonna ask you, like when would you say you were comfortable just doing like an hour, 2+ hour sets?
Oh man. That's a really good question. I think I don't know if I ever hit the point of like realizing that I was comfortable. It would more so be in the moment if I ever felt uneasy. I had a transition that I would always go to help me like recenter myself. So it was something like that. It wasn't really, I wouldn't try to think about the time that I had to spend for it to like going into it. But if I was in the middle of it and started to feel anxious, I always had like 3 or 4 different, just like quick 3-song transitions that I knew I could do like the back of my hand that I would feel comfortable doing and that would get the crowd back on track. And the 3-song transition that still is one of my favorite ones, just ground myself, is Montel Jordan, This Is How We Do It, into the Love Like This Fat Man Scoop remix, and then jump from that into Poison by Belle Biv DeVoe. And I don't know what it is about those 3 songs, but I think, I know what it is. Those 3 songs were like the first 3 that I learned how to play around with when I was first learning to DJ to begin with. So it was just, for me, it's like going back to the basics. Like if I can make these 3 hit, I can make anything hit. So yeah, but I still get, even now, like if I get a 5 to 6 hour shift, I'm just like, man, that's 5 hours of music I gotta play. Like, this is a long time to be DJ. And that's like in my head, like, do I even have like 5 hours worth of the hottest to get me through?
That's everything.
Right, I'll be sitting in my house like, oh my gosh,
this like the people like
right. I'll be saying to myself like, people do this all the time, like multiple times a night. What do they download every day to keep this going? But I think it's just a thing of like, you want to be over prepared, knowing good and well you got thousands of songs in your computer that you're good to play for eternity if you needed to, but. Yeah, I still get nerves. The 2-hour plus sets can definitely shake you up a little bit, especially if the crowd isn't rocking with you. You got to find a way to reel them back in and whatnot. So, yeah, but I still get nervous. If anyone ever sees me at a bigger event, you'll see that I pace in the back before I go on the stage or before I start spinning. I start to pace a little bit.
Yeah, I like to that's cool that you said that because I do get nervous like before sets too, and I like to I was just like find like a little quiet space, put some headphones in, just like take deep breaths, and I just, you know what I'm saying, just get my breathing under control because my heart usually racing, so I just try to like it. Literally like small shows, big like don't matter what type of set, I still get anxious.
Yeah,
so I'll just have to take that couple seconds just to just balance myself.
I definitely feel that. I've never tried the headphones thing. I literally just
play
I'm standing to myself and just start rocking
meditation music or something, or like some Bob Marley, literally something soothing for me. Like no, just nothing hardcore, not just something soothing, and it just relaxes.
Right. I'm gonna try that next time. I appreciate that because I just be standing in the corner with my hands folded. I start rocking back and forth like walking in a square. I be walking in the square. That's it.
And do your thing,
But yeah, I'm gonna do a quick,
like
quick
little stuff for us, like do your thing. Hey, just do
I got you. I'm gonna do a quick, like 5 or 6 songs, and see how y'all rocking with it. Let's go.
I don't got her number, I don't got her number. Up and disappeared, like a post on Tumblr. Up and disappeared, like Samantha Mumba. Up and disappeared, like I don't got her number. Her tongue got me stuck. Call it dumb and dumber. Never gave no fuck. Staring like a cuck. Gang in this like niggas moving snow like SSX. Tricky, I don't fuck. Push back on it like a disappear like with my
Now tell me who on the with us. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. I bang and let your brains hang. Snitches, all the people to riches who carry up in they hosiery. A black teller when my father busted and loaded. They think it just for the king and dipping the D's. Don't hate me, hating their moms for hitting my mom's head. I was born in the drop, born in the pot. Shake the feds and take them street cops. The point is, my point is double fours at your
You're in the mix with DJ Cash Era.
I like it when you do me. Can we get kinky tonight? I got so many things on my mind. I wanna feel you squeeze me tight.
Oh, well imagine as I'm pacing the pews in a church corridor, and I can't help but to hear, no, I can't help but to hear an exchanging of words. What a beautiful wedding, what a beautiful wedding, says a bridesmaid to a waiter. Yes, but what a shame the poor groom's bride is a whore. I chime in with a haven't you people ever heard of closing a goddamn door? No, it's much better to face these kinds of things with a sense of poison rationality. I chime in, haven't you people ever heard of closing a goddamn door? No, it's much better to face these kinds of things with a sense of...
You're in the mix with DJ Cash Era.
Meet me in the trail, it's going down. Meet me in the mall, it's going down. Meet me in the club, it's going down. Anywhere you meet me, guaranteed to go down. Meet me in the trail, it's going down. Meet me in the mall, it's going down. Meet me in the club, it's going down. Anywhere you meet me, guaranteed to go down.
I'm a savage, classy, bougie, ratchet, sassy, moody, nasty, acting stupid. What's happening? What's happening? I'm a savage, classy, bougie, ratchet, sassy, moody, nasty, hacking, stupid. What's happening? What's happening?
Ooh, DJ Cash Era.
Boom. That's a taste of my set. Shout out to John Walt Foundation for having me. Long live John Walt, period. Shout out to Pivot Gang. Shout out to Squeak. You feel me? Once again, my name is DJ Cash Era. You can find me on all your social medias at symbol DJ Cash Era. I appreciate y'all so much. Thank you.
Huge thank you to Squeak Pivot and Cash Era and the John Walt Foundation for making today happen, Inspiration Station. Use all the things you heard and learned today to enter our That's a Rap challenge or tag us in any beats. Hashtag sound off, hashtag working like Walt. Come back next week, same time, same place, at 5 for graphic design with GIMP, and at 2 p.m. extra for Get Up and Dance with the Happiness Club. On behalf of the Chicago Public Library Teen Services, thanks all for watching today.